All right, guys, it is time for the obligatory tire review. And in this case, we're going to be talking about the Metzler Roadtec 01s that I decided to fit on my Triumph T120 Bonneville. These tires are replacing the Pirelli Phantoms, which are about as sketchy as a motorcycle tire could possibly be. Now, let's get into these things. So for starters, the Roadtec 01 is a sport touring type of a tire. It's got a bit of a soft compound, it heats up quickly, and it sticks extremely well, especially with the type of riding that I do with this motorcycle. Just to give you an example, I do not treat this T120 like it's a cruiser. I treat it like it's a sport bike, and it does really well, surprisingly well. And these tires complement that way that I ride very well. As stated, they heat up very quickly and they stay hot for a while. I've had this bike over on the side of the tire, although not ultra aggressively. When I am on the side of the tire and exiting corners, I am pretty well buried on the throttle and it sticks as any other sport tire would. It just doesn't have as much power to contend with, and so with this bike, it works out great. Up front, here's how that tire is wearing in. And with only 500 miles on the clock, she still has the little nubbies. We're going to get those worn off before you know it. As far as tire pressures go, I'm running 37 out back, 35 up front. So if you're looking for a short review, there you go. They stick, they balance well, they're a great complement to this motorcycle. Again, the factory rubber that came on this bike was pretty sketchy. If you're looking for an upgrade and it's about time for you to get new rubber, give these a look. Okay, for you guys that want to stick around and hear more about them, let me give you my further detailed review on these tires. So they balanced out very well, not a big need for a lot of extra weights or things like that. That's a pretty good indicator of a consistent build quality. Something else that I liked about the tire is that it is stable at speed. This motorcycle, every time it is ridden, will see over 100 miles per hour. I don't ride my Bonneville like some stodgy old man. I treat it like the legacy style hot rod Triumph Ace Cafe rocker style motorcycle that I wanted it to be. And as such, I do like to have the bike over on its side, powering through apexes. I treat it like an old school sport bike hot rod. These tires are fantastic at that. They heat up incredibly quickly and they stay hot. I've never had this bike get weird, even with as few miles as are on the tires now, going through fast sweepers, have the bike on the side of the tire, get a fistful of throttle and just let that thing power through. These tires stick incredibly well. Well enough to where I'm pretty convinced that any more tire, like any more of a sport-oriented tire, would be wasted on this bike. This bike with these tires is a blast and a ball to ride. So if you are into that type of riding, it will absolutely scratch the itch in terms of quality, confidence, and stability. But if you're looking for a tire that is just more of a cruising type of a tire and you want something that'll perform well in the wet, have confident braking performance and acceleration performance, look no further. I'm not trying to give these tires a glowing review, and you would think that I was getting paid by Metzler the way that I'm giving these things a tongue bath, but the reality is that they really are that good. Stable at cruise speed, incredibly stable under braking, and offer up no real slip under hard acceleration. Matter of fact, it's not uncommon if I don't turn the traction control system off on this bike, I'm constantly carrying little wheelies when I take off with this thing. Now granted, it's got the exhaust work done, it's got the tune. She is a little bit more of a hot rod than a factory bike, but it just goes to show that these sport touring style tires on this type of a motorcycle can offer up plenty of a performance window and be entertaining and confidence inspiring along with that. So post up your comments, let me know what you think. If you've got one of these bikes, let me know what your experience has been. The majority of my experience with this has been in dry weather, guys. Not a lot of wet weather riding. I got caught in a little bit of a downpour. I wouldn't say that I was riding in the pure wet with it. The streets were a little bit damp, Didn't see any drop off in performance, but I also wasn't trying to set any lap records either. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But I would like to know what tires you guys are running on your British hot rods or anything else that you want to comment on. Let me know what your preferred tire brand is, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. That's a wrap. Adios.